Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. This session will cover what financial oral information management, or OIM, is, why OIM is innovative for financial inclusion, who this solution supports, and how it's changing women's lives in Sierra Leone. We also invite you to please visit our booth at the end of this session. My name is Madeline Nielsen, and I am the Program Officer, Capacity Development and Mentoring with the Fund for Innovation and Transformation, or FIT. FIT is a Canadian innovation program funded by Global Affairs Canada, developed to support small and medium-sized organizations and their partners in the Global South who are testing innovative solutions to advance gender equality and support women, girls, and vulnerable communities. The international cooperation organizations that we support represent civil society, post-secondary institutions, private sector, and social enterprises. Current testing projects last a maximum of 10 months, and funded organizations receive 175,000 Canadian dollars to complete their work. One of the key elements of the FIT program is the creation of spaces for organizations to share their results and learnings with others interested in innovation work to foster a culture of collaboration. Today, we will be learning from FIT-funded innovators, My Oral Village, and New Salone Woman Organization. My Oral Village and their partners in Kenya, Pakistan, and Sierra Leone tested innovative solutions with women participants to address barriers to financial inclusion through foundational financial literacy and skill building with illiterate and innumerate micro-entrepreneurs, members of savings groups, and clients of microfinance institutions. The community-based New Salone Woman Organization is dedicated to empowering women and girls in Sierra Leone through financial literacy, vocational training, gender equality, and advocacy. Together, they are currently testing and designing icons and layouts to populate a financial oral information management library throughout Sierra Leone. Joining me for this conversation today are Brett Matthews and Esther Matar, Executive Directors of My Oral Village and New Salone Woman Organization, respectively. So let's learn more about your innovative solution to advance gender equality and support financial numeracy. Esther, I'll start with you first for this question. What is your innovation testing project in Sierra Leone, and what sparked the idea for it?
We're testing a financial literacy and record-keeping pilot project for female keke drivers in Sierra Leone. A keke is basically a commercial three-wheel vehicle used for public transport. So most of these women in this sector are unschooled and with low literacy and limited financial literacy skills. They often acquire this keke through informal and semi-formal loans, but without proper tools. They rely on memory and also verbal agreements. So while the lenders control all repayment records, this leaves them vulnerable to fraud, overpayment, and unjust seizure of their keke. So in many cases, women end up paying twice or having loan terms extended without their knowledge. So to address this, we introduced an oralized icon-based loan repayment passbook, a user-friendly tool designed specifically for women with low literacy. It helps them track payments, to calculate their balances, to verify and transaction, and most importantly, gain the confidence to enter loan agreements safely. It also supports them in their journey to eventually own their own keke, giving them a simple, trustworthy system for personal record keeping. The idea was sparked through direct community engagement, where women shared stories of being defrauded. They were silenced, or sometimes they are stripped of their keke simply because they had no proof of payment. So we realized that these women were not lacking in intelligence. They are simply not being given tools designed in their realities. So that's what inspired us to act.
Brett, could you explain the OIM tools for financial numeracy and record keeping that you're currently testing in Sierra Leone through this project?
OIM stands for Oral Information Management. And the basic philosophy behind it is that we build on the strengths of oral cultures to develop record-keeping systems that they can understand and that they can then safely and conveniently use. And furthermore, that over time allow them to learn some of the key codes that exist in the formal financial sector, which are routinely used by the rest of us, such as place value notation. How do you write a long number, say 4 or 5 or 6 digit currency number, for example, like in Leones? To take the example that Esther was just referring to, a KK would cost about 100,000 Leones in Freetown. And so this is a 6-digit number, right? Now, a lot of unschooled adults, maybe they know how to read and write 1-digit numbers. When they get into the 2 digits, let alone the 3 and the 4 and the 5 and the 6, they just don't know. So that puts them in a very vulnerable position. So what we're really doing is developing systems which allow them to immediately understand and identify an error, even without schooling, and also to gradually learn place value notation as they continually update their records over a period of time by creating a very friendly, easy, accessible interface that draws on the strengths of oral culture and their strengths rather than constantly imposing the area that they're weak in, which is literate culture and everything related to. And in partnership with Esther at the New Salon Women Organization, we formed something we called a project design team that was composed of 10 people who were essentially financial professionals for the most part within Sierra Leone, and then 2 Canadians who joined from Mayoro Village. And we sampled around 8 different areas around Sierra Leone, essentially entering into oral culture, meeting with women who were integrally part of oral cultures, bringing an artist along in each case, and sketching out ideas and getting them to sketch out ideas and contribute ideas so that we could develop a set of icons. And we eventually developed a set of 85 icons and 7 standard financial templates. For example, a cash receipt and a deposit slip and a loan passbook. And that's actually what, the output of the project. And we've been doing this also in collaboration with the central bank over there.
Thank you for sharing that, Brett. That's interesting to learn a bit more about the tools that you're actually using with these women that you're both referring to. I'll note as well that FIT is a program guided by Canada's Feminist International Assistance Policy. So this prioritizes gender equality in all Canadian international assistance. This question is for you, Esther. Joining the project team as an innovator from Sierra Leone, you provide valuable local expertise on gender dynamics to shape this innovation. How do you think gender and sociocultural norms inform your approaches during this project while you work with these women?
As women and girls are often seen as financial dependents, while men are viewed as decision makers. So these norms are reinforced by low literacy and financial innumeracy, which prevent women from reading contracts, tracking money, or protecting their income. We spoke with a lot of women, so many of them told us they've never learned or read, or they've never read or write numbers yet. We introduced financial concepts visually and orally. They responded with intelligence, confidence, and creativity. They understood the icons, they contributed with brilliant ideas, and also navigate tools better than expected. Where we realized that the problem was not their ability, but it was the tool that was excluded from them. The project also follows a strong PSCA policy, ensuring every woman is protected from exploitation, abuse, or harassment. We train our team on how to engage respectfully and created clear reporting channels for any concerns. We also called on microfinance. We issued a call to them to integrate oral and visual tools into client onboarding. Also to train staff in gender sensitivity engagement, to recognize women's informal financial knowledge, and also to partner with grassroots institutions.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Esther. I really appreciate how this is so co-created with the women that you're working with. So that's really great to hear. You are both still
Okay.
testing your innovative solution to improve women's financial literacy, and I know that you're set to complete this project within the next couple of months. I'm wondering, so far, what are you learning from the women who are engaging in this process? Are there any initial results or impacts that you have seen so far? And I'll start with you, Esther, for this question.
Yeah, we've learned that these women are mentally capable and they're ready to learn once the tools are adapted to their realities. In the field, we saw women who couldn't recognize single digits like 8 or 4 during the diagnostic testing. Some added 5 and 3 to arrive at 8 because that's how they mentally process numbers. But after our focus group sessions and icon-based training, they began to identify numbers accurately and use the sketches and icon with confidence. So this shows that this visual learning works when financial tools are designed with care and community input, even when women with no schooling can use it effectively. So far, we've created around 80 icons and tested multiple layouts. And although we're still piloting, we already see major shifts in engagement, the confidence, and also ownership. Women are starting to see themselves not just as borrowers, but as equal participants.
Brett, do you have anything that you would like to add on initial observations so far?
I think there's been this general idea that illiteracy is a problem in microfinance, and that idea has existed for decades, but nobody's really had a sense of anything that it might be possible to do about it. So that when we and the idea has been quite vague. Nobody's really studied it systematically. When we went out into the field with the project design team, which was a whole set of financial professionals from Sierra Leone, including one of the staff members of the central bank, one of the main things that happened was after the very first day of our work, they were coming up to me and saying, "We had no idea that there are so many people in our country who can't read 2- and 3-digit numbers." So it was really, this is simply something that's not known in the sector. And so I think that kind of impact really changes the way people think about this problem. And it also gives a tangible focal point, because this is a solvable problem. There are a number of things that can happen over the longer term. And we will be looking to collaborate with women like Esther around in different countries to essentially be the leaders of the process of maintaining the quality of OIM libraries, developing those OIM libraries over time, doing things to make sure that it's constantly up to date. We believe that if the OIM libraries are available and become widely used, then they can reach the half of the population that are not well schooled. And in Sierra Leone, that's approximately half the population, who are effectively excluded, not only from ordinary finance, but from digital finance as well, simply because they don't understand the interfaces.
I just want to thank you both for sharing your very impactful work with us today, Esther and Brett. So what do we take away from this session? Financial Oral Information Management, or OIM, allows people to more equitably access financial services. OIM is innovative for financial inclusion through culturally informed approaches to meet people where they're at and co-create these through cultural contexts. This OIM solution particularly supports women who typically have more barriers to financial inclusion, being more likely to be illiterate or enumerate. And OIM is changing women's lives in Sierra Leone, as we've seen, through improved financial access and inclusion for entrepreneurs and women who are accessing financial services. We encourage you as CPAs to apply your expertise to support small and medium-sized organizations through paid opportunities in short-term contracts or through volunteer opportunities. Visit the FIT website where you can see a list of our funded SMOs, or visit our virtual conference booth to learn more.